Great. All right. Well, welcome everyone. And big thanks to Dan for putting this all together. And a big thanks to our experts who I know for a fact are experts. I've worked for 4 out of the 5 experts. I know them personally. I know everyone personally, but I've worked for 4 of the 5. So we really do have experts on our panel today. We're going to go through a bunch of questions. We have way more questions than we have time. But here's the beauty of being a member of NARPM. If we touch on a subject and you want to get in touch with one of the experts, there's going to be no problem with that. If you want to talk to someone in your chapter or someone in another chapter about something, there's no problem with that either. So that's the beauty of this. If you don't get it today, it's available for you later on down the line. All right, so one of the first topics we're going to talk about, as you could probably imagine, is the impact that COVID had and it is having on your business right now. So let's just go real quick through with the experts on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the worst impact. How do you feel that COVID has affected your business? Let's just start with Mario and kind of go down the line.
Sure. Real simply, I'd say about 3 or 4. How about that? Not anything major.
Great. Anybody could just pick up. Tia, pick up.
I would say the same, about maybe a 2 or a 3.
Same with us, Harry. Depending on where you're looking at it, we did have to move all our people home, but they seemed to adapt really well. So we didn't really, not too many speed bumps in the road yet.
Agreed. Same. 2 or 3. Not a big deal.
Liz, I didn't hear what you said, Liz.
I said 2 or 3.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, so really not that real bad, really. Okay, moving on. Prior to COVID-19, can you look back and see any steps that you may have taken, not even knowing that you were going to have a disaster like this? Any steps that you took way back when that helped you survive as long as you've been surviving? Liz, let's start with you. You're still on.
Yeah, so we do virtual showings. We do lockbox showings with code boxes. So that definitely set us ahead. And we also do video walkthrough tours or Matterport on all of our units as well. So all the prospects were able to walk through the tour either from their home or without a person there. So that helped with the COVID.
Great. How about you, Kim?
The one thing that actually we just did for a month or 2 before this all went down, we went to Appfolio Plus. It's a new program they have, and a part of that is Lisa. She is an AI-enabled system, and then it also allows us to do virtual showings with a link to the tenants, and we can do 12 at one time, and they can ask questions while we're doing the showing. So that was huge for us because, of course, we did not want to meet anybody, and so it just happened to coincide. So that was really cool, just the timing on that.
Harry, one of the things that we did with our HOA department and any of folks out there that are managing associations, a lot of association management companies have a work from home program where that's where they gravitate with their business models. So we had developed about 6-8 months ago or prior to COVID, a whole work from home policy. And we were able to transition that and an agreement with the employees, and everybody just we just dovetailed into that. And it was really beneficial to have a firm and boundary, program that everyone knew the expectations if they were to work from home, and just putting that into place. And so I felt really fortunate that we had developed that prior to having to actually use it for the whole office.
Great. How about you, Tia?
Same thing as everyone else. The virtual tours are just so helpful. We use a 360 virtual tour where they can actually look around the home. We're a big military town here in Jacksonville, so a lot of times they will come for PCS orders, and they'll come for 10 days to do house hunting, while the military, when COVID hit, shut down all travel. So a lot of people who would have been doing house hunting leave aren't coming, and they're able to view the homes, virtually.
All right.
Yeah, really, the only thing I would have to add is, kind of on the video piece, we saw a lot more people actually engaging in the video piece during this time than before. So just tracking the analytics on that. But as far as kind of the communication piece with our tenants and our owners, a long time ago, and we're in Florida, so we had like a whole hurricane preparedness plan and automatic text systems and everything. And we just took that and applied those same concepts to this. So we were able to communicate with everybody and tell them, when to check email and that type of thing. And that seems to really have kept us in front of the entire communication piece with everyone.
How about you, Liz? Did we get you on this?
Yes, I started.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. If I miss anybody, let's not worry about it. We'll just move on. But pretty much for the most part, every one of you are using technology for showings. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right, great. And that's probably made a big difference for you. Tell me some of the things that you learned. Just give me let's go down the line, speak up, and tell me something that you learned from this that you're going to implement in the future or you're going to do more of.
I'll start. I learned to trust my team. The working from home for us was, we have a very, very conventional type work environment, come from a corporate background, and you showed up at your desk every day and you did your work at work. And through this whole thing, we've been enlightened that just as much productivity, if not even sometimes more, can be reached if the people are working in an environment where they're not commuting or they have the right hardware and software. And we were set up for all of that. But I do not see us bringing everyone back 100% of the time into the team. And we've adapted to making team events happen. And we've done a couple of online Zoom trivia nights, and that's been really fun. And so that's something we're going to keep going with, and that we learned that our team is really, I don't know, we're just enlightened that the productivity could be just as good. And I know there's a lot of companies out there that do have a fully remote team even prior to COVID, but we didn't, and we're forced to jump off that cliff and are soaring. So that's great.
Mario.
And I don't want this to be a sore subject. I think I probably learned that there's a lot of folks that shouldn't be kind of doing this business, whether they're DIY landlords or small property managers. I mean, the questions and the blogs and the things we've seen, people just kind of go and renegade, like, I'm going to do my own thing, and I'm going to put the notices out there, and they're going to pay. And it's a little bit of the Wild West, and that's definitely not what we need in our industry, as we all try and keep things professional. That's my personal opinion.
Anyone else want to add in? Some things that you've learned?
I think we're the same as Kelly, because we have that type of a culture. All of our people are employees except for our sales agents, and we have that type of environment. And so you thought, oh, wow, this is just not going to work, everybody being at home, but they are accomplishing more, believe it or not. And they're all doing fine, maybe with the exception of one or two that probably should work at the office. But for the most part, we've been absolutely fine.
Great. Yeah, I think a lot of us in Florida have a little head start because of the hurricanes. We're kind of always prepared for a disaster, and this is the biggest one yet.